Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us now, welcome. Today on Badge Radio 193.6, we will be covering topics about the New Deal for America, California, the dust storm, the stock market condition, and sports. We will also be listening to an excerpt from Out of the Dust and a couple of commercial breaks in between. To start things off, here's Jade with the New Deal.
This is Jade Kelly reporting on the New Deal for America. President Roosevelt recently introduced the second stage of his New Deal. After his presentation of the New Deal nearly 2 years ago, he is asking for new goals to be set by Congress. In President Roosevelt's address to Congress, he asked for 3 major goals to be met at the end of the year. After the presentation of the first deal, many people are wondering what's going to be different about this one. While President Roosevelt's first deal had more of a focus on stabilizing the economy, this new deal is calling for 3 very specific things to happen. The first he called for is an increase in the use of national resources. The way that he decided to achieve this goal was by instating the National Resources Committee. The job of the NRC is to make plans for vacant lands and work with cities as well as government agencies to make these plans a reality. The second goal that he wants met is security against old age, illness, and unemployment. His idea to achieve this goal? Social Security. The Social Security Act, signed by President Roosevelt, will give workers retirement benefits and will provide money for those that cannot work. The act is meant to replace the state relief efforts and to better aid those that are incapable of taking care of themselves and their family. The last is to create jobs and good working conditions for those workers. The National Labor Relations Act, also known as the Wagner Act, created a board to supervise union elections and to prevent businesses from treating their workers unfairly. This act, however, focused more on private sector workers. The Works Program Administration was also created to provide jobs to those unemployed. Since the WPA is unable to compete with private industry, they focus more on building schools, bridges, and municipal buildings. The second New Deal seems to be more promising for those that are struggling to find a job and those that cannot support themselves. The second New Deal is making a more aggressive move to improve the lives of those that are affected by the depression that hit our land hard.
Thank you, Jade. And now to Brittany in California.
This is Brittany Morgia coming to you straight from San Francisco, California. California is doing better than most states. Although we are still in this depression in 1936, we are prospering. Are we really as good as most states think, though? Many families are migrating to California only to find we're only doing slightly better than the states they were coming here from. People are coming from the Dust Bowl area, and some are coming straight from Mexico. A man named Steve from Kansas explained, "You would think with California being the land of opportunity, they would have more to offer. But people are being sent back to their homes left and right, and there still seems like there's no more jobs to offer. California in people's eyes may not be all it's cracked up to be." Dorothea Lange's migrant mother pictures have gone viral. From the front page of newspapers to the only thing talked about on the radio. This picture is definitely a hot topic. The picture's headline on the news was, "Ragged, Hungry, Broke. Harvest workers live in squalor." Although I have not gotten the chance to interview her, this picture explains itself. You can see a woman with 2 children on both of her shoulders burying their faces into her neck while she looks out to her right side in agonizing wonder. What will I feed my kids? What am I going to clothe my kids in when I can't afford new clothes? How's my husband doing? Will he make it back safe? You can see a million questions in her eyes. That's why Dorothea Lange's pictures are more than powerful. They're mesmerizing and heartfelt. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected for his second term this year. He defeated the Kansas governor, Alfred M. Landon, and won every state in the Union except Maine and Vermont. Roosevelt has another 4 years to keep the change coming, and it seems all the people but in 2 states agree he should keep moving forward. All we have to fear is fear itself. The Bay Bridge was also finished this year and opened up to traffic. San Francisco Mayor said, "The bridge is a sample of the West to come, a signal for renewed civic effort, a proof that the pioneer spirit of San Francisco still lives. This magnificent structure will serve to unite us more closely with our friendly neighbors across the bay and means progress for all of us." All these different structures, such as the Hoover Dam, the Bay Bridge, etc., have come into play for us Americans. It shows us how strong we are as a nation. We are all one.
Thanks, Brittany. And now on to Adrian about the Dust Bowl.
Savage Dust Storm Leaves America in the Dust by Adrian Legaspi. Looking back at all of the devastating disasters that occurred in America in the past few years, nothing beats the Dust Bowl of 1936. The Dust Bowl droughts caused dust storms that greatly affected Americans by ruining their daily lives. Multiple states were also affected by heavy snow and severe blizzards in the winter. The Dust Bowl not only caused droughts, but also caused severe storms that spread throughout the plains and across most of the nation. The number of dirt storms increased, and the temperature in 1936 broke 1934's record by soaring above 120 degrees. Farmers that lived in the plains of America were greatly affected by these dirt storms and droughts. Along with dirt storms and droughts, tornado season started in April of 1936. 17 fierce tornadoes touched down and blew through Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. Farmers throughout the Great Plains hoped for rain during the springtime. Day by day, the weather not only gave farmers false hope, it also gave them intense sun, harsh winds, and drought. All of Iowa faced severe blizzard conditions in February 6, 1936. Heavy snow and strong winds caused drifting during February 8 through 10. The summer was not kind to the state of Iowa. On August 18, 1936, Iowa faced the hottest August day with an average temperature of 113 degrees. The heat during the summer was so blistering, many families slept outside their house to avoid the heat of the house. Thank you.
Here's Jeremy with the stock market condition.
Hello and welcome. In this news article, you will be hearing about the stock market situation and about how it is going under control. If you did remember, 7 years ago, the time of the stock market crash, it was a terrible time to happen. But now in 1936, the stock market is now improving. But how good is it really going on with the stock market? Are we still in danger of all this? The stock market right now in the year 1936 is now currently under control. Since the beginning of April 1936 all the way through November 1936. If you do remember, the stock market has been a down, suffer until the 4 consecutive up in the years 1933 through 1936. Because of all the profits that the stock market has been doing, most of the banks are forced to shut down. In the year 1936, the stock market is still currently under control. But will it still stay the same, or will it get better in 1937? Thank you for listening to this radio broadcast about the stock market situation.
We will be right back after this short commercial break.
The sound from this radio is swell. Too bad you can't hear it well over your old dusty radio. You know what you need? The new Cadet Model 53 radio from International Radio Corp. This small wooden radio is keen. Don't be a jelly bean, be a butter. So don't wait, get your new radio today.
And welcome back. Next on Badge Radio, Alexis Claudio in sports.
I'm Alexis, and this is the sports highlights of 1936, the amazing outcomes of sports and stars all over America. In 1936, a lot of historical figures made differences and set goals for many. Unbelievable outcomes had made an impact on history. There was one significant athlete that comes to mind when speaking upon the year of the sports in 1936. That person is Jesse Owens, or the Buckeye Bullet. He was one of the greatest Olympians of all time. He had started his athletic career in the year of 1928. He set so many records back in high school, along with new high school world records his senior year running the 100-yard dash. The time he set was a magnificent 9.4 seconds. Not only was he fast, but the boy had hops. He jumped 24 feet 11 3/4 inches in the broad jump, setting a new world record. He obviously was very good at what he did, which got him noticed by many college recruits. He signed with Ohio State University. He worked multiple jobs to support him and his wife at a very young age. All those jobs in between his practices and record settings. After a few records, he was uncertain whether or not he would be able to participate in any competition due to the sore back from an accident of falling down a flight of stairs. Due to his dedication, he convinced his coach to let him run the 100. Owens recorded an official time of 9.4 seconds. Even though he was still in pain, he had done 3 more events. He set a world record in each event in 45 minutes. Experts agree that is the greatest athletic feature in history, setting 3 world records and tying a 4th in 4 grueling track and fields. When Jesse managed to enter the 1936 Olympics in Nazi Germany, he had different plans. He had become the first American track and field athlete to win 4 gold medals in a single Olympiad. His outstanding achievement was unequaled until the 1984 Olympic Games in LA, when Carl Lewis matched Owens' features. From all he's done, you can now understand why he was called the Buckeye Bullet. He has so many achievements, and not only has he set records, but he has set goals for future generations. A lot of people looked up to what a great, determined athlete he was. He was a true American Olympian that left one hell of a legacy. We all have dreams, but in order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. Jesse Owens.
Thank you, Alexis. And we will be right back after this commercial break.
Oh boy, it is a hot weather today.
What temperature is it today?
The temperature is about 102 degrees.
Wow, that is really hot.
In this hot temperature, what can be able to cool this down?
Now this is a refreshing drink. Coca-Cola, the great, cool, and thirst-quenching drink. Ah!
Nothing can beat this beverage on the hot sunny day.
Welcome back. Now let's listen into our radio play.
My life, or what I told Lois after the 10th time she came to dinner. I looked up at Lois with hurt in my eyes as I talked about my hands.
I may look like Daddy, but I have my mother's hands.
I then looked down at my scars that will never disappear.
Piano hands. Ma used to call them, sneaking a look at them any chance she got.
I know she saw the flash of guilt that struck my face for a split second, but I quickly gathered myself.
A piano is a grand thing, although ours is covered in dust now. Under the grime, it's dark brown, like my mother's eyes.
Lois quickly put her hand on my shoulder because she could see the one tear that I let fall from my eye to my cheek. I looked up to the piano and remember the picture of Ma and Daddy that once stood by the mirror. Daddy has taken that down by now. I looked back at Lois, wanting to talk more about the good times.
Whenever Ma could, she'd fill a bowl of apples just for me. Boy, how crazy I am about them apples. She'd also fill a jar with wildflowers when she found them, and put them on that shelf over there, right above our piano.
I'll look at the shelf where Ma's poetry book still remains. Lois realizes what I'm staring at, so I explain.
There's my Ma's book of poetry. Daddy and I tore Aunt Ellis's invitation into strips to mark the poems we thought my Ma liked best.
Lois and I regain eye contact.
We weren't always happy, but we were happy enough until the accident.
A tear starts to collect, but I make sure it doesn't leave my eye this time.
When I rode the train west, I went looking for something, but there wasn't anything wonderful. I didn't see anything better than what I already had. Home.
Lois continues to look at me, unwavering.
My hands don't look real pretty anymore, but they hardly hurt. They only ache a little sometimes. I could play right now, maybe, if I could get the dust out of the piano. If I wanted to get the dust out of the piano. But I don't. I'm just not ready yet.
I see in Lois that she understands exactly what I said. She doesn't tell me what I should do. She just lets me know that she heard.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Badge Radio 193.6. Till next time.